Welcome to Improv for the podcast. On this week's episode, we're joined by Cordrey, who will tell us all about her improvisational journey. We'll play a couple games, and most importantly, learn how she improv'd her life. Let's hit it. Welcome to Improv for the podcast. I'm your host, Michael Lee Evans, and today I am joined by the incredibly talented shooter of basketballs, Coloradan, Chicagoan, conqueror of, I lost it, location scouting.
Oh.
Cordrey. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
That was a rough one. I always try and do that off the dome, but tonight I'm a little slow, so I apologize.
It was all true, so you nailed it.
True.
So
yeah.
Delivery we could work on, but
yeah, we'll work on that.
there.
Yeah, I'll fix it in post.
Yeah, fix it in post.
In post, I'll look like a genius.
Yeah, I mean, it's the power of an editor. I've definitely learned that in the film industry
absolutely.
for sure.
Oh, the editor tells the story.
Yes.
Yeah. Good performance, bad performance, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm. They can make you look like the villain or the hero just by second.
Yeah. That's a good thing it's my podcast. No. I got all the power. So Mo, I'm looking at this sign back here. This beloved, beautiful, almost fully lit sign. Yeah. And I'm wondering, how'd you find this place? How'd you get involved at IFTP?
I found IFTP when I was searching for an improv theater during COVID, and I was not finding many things open in LA. This was 2021, and actually the way I found it is I was like Googling, like Improv LA, and I found the IFTP camps website.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that is what I was like, wait, what? There's a summer camp improv weekend? Like what is this? And I think by the time I had found it, it was maybe like 3 weeks before it was going to happen. So I think I was a little late to sign up and, I was like working at the time, but I was like, dang, that's so cool that this theater has this camp. So I emailed Matt and I was like, hey, like this is my experience. Like I would love to like jump in your school. And I started on Saturdays in October 2021.
Wow. I started, I think, just like 2 months before you then.
Oh my gosh.
August 2021.
Not Saturdays though.
No, Wednesdays,
right.
But, it was kind of the same thing of like, who's open? Oh, this place. Great.
Yeah. Like it was like in masks. Like I can still see, I'm pretty sure it was Daryl that had like a shining like pattern mask like from the carpet,
because he was in Wednesday class too. So
like I can still see his like mask, and that was really interesting to learn to do scenes without facial expressions. I had never done masked improv, but the idea of Zoom improv, I was horrified by. Yeah, so I just avoided that at all costs.
Good call. It sucks.
Because it's all about the energy, right? Of like in the space and like what you create with another person, like. How can you have that connection? Yeah. At least I'm sure people have figured it out, but I was like, I don't know, old school about it, I guess.
No, but that's the right way to be.
Yeah. So, but I was just really so grateful to even like do it again. Cause like I was doing it, I was about to audition for Herald's at IO Chicago. Actually, no, I did one audition show for Herald teams at IO in Chicago. March 2020. So I was so close to making it through the program. Then just, I'm like, sure, so many of us like just to like lose that art and like not have gone. And just like no answer of when this is coming back. And I was like so devastated and moved here and still nothing was open. And then to find IFTP, I was like, oh my God, like this is finally. Yeah, I was so happy and I had so much fun. So I'm really glad I did.
Yeah. Well, we're very glad you're here and still with us, like 2 years later.
2 years later.
Yes, yeah. IFTP, you've been around.
Been around. Yeah, I know some people, seen some scenes.
Seen some scenes.
Seen some scenes.
Yeah. It's really great. So before we get more into your improv journey, Mo, because we're going to start at the beginning.
Okay.
We got to play some 3 things.
Okay.
That's why we're here. So as always, I've done some internet sleuthing, found some many mysteries. Some we'll learn about now. Others may pop up later in our game section. We'll see. But 3 things you've played before?
Yes.
Okay. No questions. You got it? Mm-hmm. All right. So These are 3 things. Here we go. 3 categories. You'll name 3 things from each of them. First category, Chicago's best foods.
Oh, wasabi ramen.
1.
Number 1. Prem. Oh, no, shoot. That's in Vietnam. I don't know why I just said that. Should we edit that out?
Nope. It's staying in. Okay, -1.
Prem was a restaurant I went to in college in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how
So
I
wasabi
just
ramen
did that.
stays. Yeah,
Wasabi,
it's ramen Japanese.
to anyone listening, if you're in Chicago, like please go to Wasabi Ramen.
I'm in.
Get the black garlic ramen. You won't regret it. And
Right.
I will go down saying that like as like absolute fact.
All right.
Wasabi
Write it down,
ramen.
people. 1. Okay, Chicago.
Oh my gosh, why am I like blanking on this? Happy Camper Pizza was like cool, but then they opened one in Denver and then it felt like more corporate.
Yeah, you're like, wait.
So I'm like, maybe not that answer. Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
pass.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
Like, what were the places you like to go to? You know?
So many. I guess I can even think about like neighborhoods I lived in. Like in Rogers Park, there was Nori sushi is really
sushi.
great. And then also, yeah. Oh my God, why is this so hard for me in this moment?
It's all right. You got it, Mo.
You gotta shout out Al's Beef. I feel like it's like
Al's
a Chicago,
Beef.
It's a Chicago staple.
Italian beef? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Wrigleyville.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like pretty iconic. It's on this like little like triangle piece of land.
Oh.
It used to be next to this place called Pick Me Up Cafe, which is also a great Chicago restaurant, actually. So that's 4. now.
Whoa, these are
So,
4 things?
Yeah, I should stop while I'm ahead.
All right, next categories. I'm going to rename this one. Let's say overrated views that you've seen in person. It's like something you were excited to see, but then you're like, eh.
I'm going to say it, the Barbie movie.
1. Ooh. Hot take.
Overrated view. So like this can be like films.
It could
or
be
TV?
nature. It could be something you've watched. This is very open-ended.
Okay. Oh gosh. I mean, in Chicago, there's like not really a whole lot of nature. Like it's pretty much just the city and like Lake Michigan. And there's this place called oh my gosh, wait. Sorry, can we cut? Stop.
I don't think she's from
Cut.
Chicago. She
No,
didn't
I
live
am
there.
sorry. I don't know. Why can't I remember words right now for these places? Oh my God. It's like something falls. Great. I want to say no, it's not called Great Falls. Oh, Starved Rock. Oh my God. It's called Starved Rock. I'm so sorry, everyone listening. I don't know why.
Starved Rock.
I'm like, maybe I never lived in Chicago. It's sounding like I don't actually know what I'm talking
Spent
about.
on TripAdvisor, huh?
Sorry, Starved Rock, and it's
Starved
like
Rock.
the nature of Chicago, and it's like the closest like connection to Chicago, and it's
Yeah.
like a 2-hour drive, and then it's like this nature park that just has like sidewalk paved through it, and like you just like walk, and it's just like a really sad waterfall, and it's like this is what I drove 2 hours to see to like experience something outside of Michigan Avenue that feels connected to nature. So that was not a good view. And then
One more.
probably like I would say like shows I've worked on, probably like some I won't name names, but like working in television and like you work really hard on something and then sometimes like you want to watch it, but then the way you feel, the way it makes you feel when you like relive what it was like to be on set there, like those are views I kind of stay away
Makes
from
sense.
now.
3. Very nice. Very nice. Last category. 3 rules of lacrosse.
Oh God. Oh, that's a hard hitter. Well, how did you find this?
I Googled your name and it came up on Max Preps, like the stats website.
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I should search there more often for people who come on because I forget, like, I'm on there, you know, like everybody's.
What sports are you listed in?
Just, I did volleyball.
Okay.
So, like, I don't know. I didn't have that many stats.
Yeah. Well, so are we talking women's lacrosse or men's lacrosse? Because there's
I don't really know the
specific
rules for either. So,
because like women's lacrosse, there's this thing you have to worry about called the sphere, and that's like the space around your head. So if someone holds their stick like in your sphere, like that's a whistle. Like you're in the sphere, like can't do it
that seems like a good rule.
Because like women don't wear helmets, like they just wear the goggles. Have you ever seen what these look like?
I don't. My lacrosse knowledge is very little.
So women's lacrosse.
That's insane. But everybody should wear helmets.
Oh, I got a concussion. I think I got 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
And it, you know, people be like, oh, like women's lacrosse is like not as violent as men. Like people still find
that's not
ways to like
true.
check
Yeah.
you pretty hard, you know?
It's a physical sport. Like people are going to get up in your business.
Yes. So you got to stay out of the sphere.
Okay. 1.
You got to stay out of the crease. That's the circle around the goal. If you cross that,
It's
whistle.
like soccer, like the goalie box, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 2.
What other rules? You can't be offsides like other sports.
3. These are 3 things.
Thanks.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. We're going to loop back real quick. So that first category, we already kind of answered it, but why'd I ask you about Chicago?
I used to live there. I moved there in 2015 to attend Loyola University Chicago, and I stayed 1 year post-grad. It's a great city. I loved it a lot.
There you go. Chicago. Great city. Has some good sounding food. Got to get that black garlic ramen you said?
Yes.
I'm thinking about that. I'm like,
Yeah, my friend is coming tomorrow from Chicago, and she was like, is there anything I can bring you? And I was like, if there's a way to bring wasabi, I would love that, but there's not, so it will not happen.
Yeah, not easy to do.
No.
Carry on, right?
I mean, theoretically, okay, if you put, no, because you can't bring liquids on. So the broth, it'd just be.
Well, what if you show them, be like, look, it's ramen. And they're like, oh, you're cool. No, it doesn't work like that.
There's maybe a TSA guy that would let that slide.
Yeah, there might be one.
If they know wasabi, maybe they would.
Be like, oh, valid. All right, go through.
Yeah, like it's like I love wasabi so much that I post like their Instagram stories on like my account, even though like I'm not even there to. I'm like everyone that's in Chicago should know that they sell steak now, and like you should go.
You're trying to rep them. You're like, hey, like I'm not there, but I want you guys to get business, so you're open the next time I'm there.
Yeah, like when I'm in Chicago, I go probably once a week.
Oh, there you go. That's high praise.
Yeah, so.
High praise.
I guess that's why I couldn't think of any other restaurants. Is I'm like, it's pretty much just wasabi that I care about at this point in my life. Yeah.
Valid. All right. Second category. This one, you might not be able to guess why I asked you this, but I can explain. I said disappointing views. I just thought, like looking through Instagram, I was like, oh, you've done a lot of hikes and stuff. So I was like, you know, people was like, what's the best views you've seen? And I'm like, no, tell me about stuff that sucked.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. And I liked your interpretation. You were like, things I've watched.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
I guess that's the film side of me coming out. Or like TikTok world being like views. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's like meets the definition. So.
Yeah. No, I love hiking. I love nature. I love also cinema and internet. So all views are good views, I guess.
Yeah, all views are good views. I like that.
Except maybe not though, because these are the disappointing views.
Yeah, well, you know, life's full of those too, unfortunately. Yikes.
Yeah.
All right. Last category. Why'd I ask you about lacrosse?
I used to play lacrosse.
Go.
It was a big lacrosse family. Yeah, I actually still have a pretty embarrassing email that maybe I shouldn't disclose on a podcast, but LAX is in the title, and like a lot of people be like, are you talking about the airport or like laxatives? Like people like ask me about it, and I'll be like, oh no, it's supposed to be like for lacrosse. I made this when I was 13, and I still use it to give it to like the people at Sephora.
Oh yeah. One of those emails.
Yes.
So you can get the coupons,
yes,
newsletters. Yeah. I feel you. That's good to have, you know.
Yeah, you need it. It's like absolutely necessary. I'm not giving you my daily email. That's it just gets me flooded.
Protect that.
Yeah.
Keep that inbox clean.
Yeah. So the lacrosse email takes the fall.
Yeah. I just think it's insane that women don't wear helmets while playing lacrosse. I'm like,
it is the most ridiculous look. It's the goggles. It's the mouth guard. Skorts were really big.
Oh yeah. But no helmet.
No helmet.
And instead they have a rule that
Stay out of the sphere.
they're like, yeah, this will work for player safety.
No, yeah, I got hit in the face all the time. Yeah.
That's like, I feel like the game would be better with helmets because everyone would be safer. And then like you could also like play a little harder because you're not worried as much about getting hit in the head.
Yeah.
And like other people are safer too. So like it makes...
Yeah,
that makes no sense. That seems so stupid.
But I think there's like this weird like women's femininity thing being like considered, and like if you put a woman in a helmet, they lose that, and then they're a man because they're gonna like aggressively fight. I don't know. There's just like this. I think it's interesting.
Terrible reasoning.
Yeah, like
to
have like differences in the way the sport is played because of gender is like pretty interesting, because like that doesn't really carry to like basketball or volleyball. You know, like those are separate genders, but you're not changing the rules. But lacrosse, there are differences. Yeah.
I did not know that. Well, thank you for educating me on that.
I hope you catch a game soon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested, and also like just give everybody helmets. Like
Yeah. I used to wear this shirt.
So dumb.
I used to wear this shirt that like my friend got first, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I want to hop on that.
Yeah.
And it was like neon green. And it had a helmet on it with like a big pink circle and an X, and it said helmets are for boys. And I used to rep that around in like 5th grade.
I mean, that'd be a pretty sick shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope someone has it now, enjoys it wherever it is. Yeah.
The lacrosse players are carrying on the tradition.
Yeah. I still have like old like shorts, with like the Hawaiian
the
print,
uniform.
like the cool like Laxbro shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Like still gotta have the swag. Yeah.
Oh man, that shirt goes hard.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, what do I do with that?
Yeah. You gotta get it back.
Yeah, I'm sure some kid in like Los Feliz would like love to wear that from like the flea
ironically.
market. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what this means, but
Yeah. Like that would kill at the flea.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Rose Bowl flea market, like top selling
Cops.
item.
Yeah, 9 a.m. That's gone. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm now pro helmets for women's lacrosse because that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Tweet
that
it.
just. That line of thinking, I'm like, okay, so women should not wear helmets on motorcycles. Like, are you dumb? Like,
Yeah, that's a really good point.
helmets literally universally benefit everyone. Like, there's no good reason. You're making the sport stupid reasoning.
Yeah. I remember like growing up, like having to like argue about like the validity of like women's lacrosse with people
I'm like,
because of that.
You're making it less valid because of that rule. Like, that's the rule maker's fault, not the people actually playing the sport.
Yeah. My dad tried to get me into like refereeing because he used to referee lacrosse, and I went to like one like of the like classes for it, and I was like, there's no way I'm like stepping in with parents and like dealing with these rules with them because
that would not be fun.
Yeah.
You're like, you ref. Yeah.
God,
you're like, these are kids.
Yeah.
Like,
my dad would be like, oh, but like, dude, it's like $50 an hour. And when you're like 14, that's insane money.
Hey, that's
like
great money now.
Yeah. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
But I was like,
no.
nah, I'll stick to babysitting.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm dealing with
No, I think
with that.
babysitting is better than having to deal with angry sports parents.
Yeah.
It's a tough crowd.
I was a theater kid through and through, so it just was like not really.
You're like,
I was like, I'll just stick to hang out with my friends and playing.
Babysitting.
Yeah. Just playing for fun.
I think you made the right choice.
I did.
You made the right choice. Refs, nobody likes refs.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the cops of the sports world.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
Narc. Like,
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
whoa, that's good. Refs are just cops of the sports world. That's so true. That's another banger T-shirt right there. Just to make that like refs are just cops for sports. Yeah, people would eat that up.
Yeah. Another flea seller probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man. Okay.
Yeah, hop on Redbubble after this.
Gotta make Zazzle, make some custom tees, start selling them. Etsy.
Yeah.
You got a good side hustle right there. Just those two shirts.
Yeah, if anyone's watching this.
Millions. You got to get on it first before this releases. You've got 2 days.
Yeah, okay. All right.
2 days to launch your T-shirt empire.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Mo. So hang on to those T-shirt ideas.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Earmark them. Put them to the side. Come back to them later. So the reason we're here tonight, we got to learn about your improv journey. So I want to know the first time in your life when you were in Colorado, just like Rado, dude, mountains. Because obviously, that's how it goes.
Exactly, yeah.
When was the first time you heard about, learned about, saw, just whatever your first exposure to improv was?
I think it's kind of like learned about one thing, then learned what improv was. So the first time I saw SNL was in 6th grade.
Okay.
It was the Michael Phelps, Tina Fey episode, kind of when like Tina Fey was doing like the whole like Sarah Palin thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like discovered what SNL was, and I was like, wait, you're telling me that there's a job out there that exists where people get to like put on costumes and then like make these fun little like sketches and they get paid for that. I was like, that's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So then I just
sounds
went on
insane.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Because I used to like, I didn't know what like improv or sketch probably was when I was like a kid, but I used to like make sketches like with my friends. Like we like put on costumes and like you know, go in front of the Mac and like turn on, you know, the photo booth. And like we would record videos of us like playing these like kooky characters, like doing bits, you know? And so like I was always kind of into like the vibe of improv without knowing what improv was. And so when I was like, oh, SNL, you know, and like just like on Wikipedia, like looking up like Amy Poehler, like Tina Fey, like Seth Meyers, like trying to learn like how do I become like one of these people when I grow up? And then just I consistently saw that they studied improv, you know, either in like LA, New York, or Chicago. And
Second
so
City,
and so I was like, okay, like when I'm old enough, like someday I'm gonna take improv classes.
Wow, yeah. So just like those early research in that era of SNL too. Oh my gosh,
It was amazing.
so much talent was there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I feel like people always say like, you know, like when you see a SNL for the first time, like a lot of times that's like people's favorite season. I've like heard that as like lore of like SNL, but like I do think like though that era was like a particularly like Kristen Wiig. Oh my gosh, she like was so cool to me because she just could play all these different people and it was so funny. So
She's one of the greats.
yeah, loved her. So it was SNL. Shocking. I'm sure you maybe get that answer a lot from people.
It's mostly Whose Line. That's the biggest one.
Really?
Yeah. Whose Line.
Yeah.
People start there. Many start there. So I like SNL. I can't recall anyone saying SNL.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's been a lot of episodes, so I can't recall a lot of things, but
That's fair.
it feels fresh. Certified fresh, Rotten Tomatoes. So there you go. All right. So SNL kind of like, that was the bug. You're like, oh, what is this? Where do these people come from? What do they do? Okay. So that got you interested. So growing up, like middle school, high school, were you like performing? Was that something you were into? Were you, like creative, doing that kind of thing?
No.
Or just lacrosse?
I was a sports kid.
Yeah.
Sports kid, student government. I joined theater my senior year of high school. It's kind of like a Troy Bolton situation of like making the transition. Yes. And I remember like a lot of like the theater kids were like, what's she doing here? Like that sort of vibe.
What's the jock doing
No,
here?
like literally because I got cast. I got a lead role in a play just coming out of nowhere.
Oh,
and
there were some kids who hated you.
yeah. And they were like, what is she doing here?
Yeah.
So, and then like, I just was like, you know, I had so much fun and, so like, I was definitely always like interested in it for sure. But like, you know, like, when I got to college is like kind of when I like really dove in like Chicago.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you were in the right place.
Yeah. So I auditioned for the Loyola improv team, never doing improv ever. And, you know, bombed, of course, and did not get it.
What?
So, yeah, I didn't get it.
But you were in a high school play.
I was in a high school play.
Yeah. Wait, what play was it?
It's called Sure Thing. It's like a one act, like 2-person scene about these people on a date, and it like the bell rings and they like try the lines over again, and like it kind of like resets. And
okay, that sounds like a one act.
Yeah. And I had to flip a table in it, and that was like really hard for me. That took me like weeks to build up the rage to like flip. Maybe that's like the Coloradan in me of like I just like never scream ever, and so like the idea of like forcefully, and then like my director's like, come on, have fun, and I'm just like, I don't know, man, like this just doesn't seem like me. It's not me, man. I can't flip the table. So I remember frustrating her in that way. But so Chicago audition, did not make it. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just like sign up and take classes at Second City, and I just signed up for Level A at Second City, which is actually like a great place to start. It's like very like fundamental, like very basic place. So I think it was like, it worked out well because that's like where I got my start, and just learned from there, and then just kept going to different theaters and learning more.
That's amazing. Do you think like that kind of early, like your SNL fandom and like getting into all that, did that influence your decision of kind of where you ended up for college?
1,000%. Like I genuinely like wanted to do comedy probably like since I like, again, like just since I discovered that was like a job that people had. Like I was set to study film in college, and like I did study film, but I was just like, I want to live in either
Yeah.
LA, Chicago, or New York because I want
Where
to
you got to be.
I want to do sketch and improv. And like I like decided that when I was 12, and
Yeah.
I am 27 and I still want to live in one of those 3 cities and do sketch and improv.
You're doing a good job of
So-
living in one of those cities. So
Yeah, we're here.
There you
so
go. We're in LA.
Yeah, living the dream. Yeah.
that's fantastic. So if you can think back to maybe that first, like those first few level A classes at Second City, do you kind of remember your experience, like your impressions?
Yeah, I remember like an exercise that like really sticks with me to this day, like was like a status exercise where this teacher was like, pick out a playing card, and like if you're like a 2 versus like an ace, like ace being the highest, 2 being the lowest, like how do you behave in scenes? And like I feel like to learn status like really early on was like very helpful.
Yeah, such a powerful tool.
Yeah, so like that one's like one that sticks with me. I had to do a Matthew McConaughey impression. Like you know those ones where they're like, oh, like you're like pretend like you're selling something, and like I was like the spokesman as like Matthew McConaughey. What else from that first class? That's pretty much all that
good
sticks.
memory,
But
though. I mean,
2017,
even that,
yeah.
You're remembering that from, I don't remember anything from classes I took in 2017. I literally nothing. So
Yeah,
pretty good.
I couldn't tell you what level B had just in store, but level A,
Yeah.
I had to be like a painting scene where I was a fire hydrant.
There you go.
That happens.
That's a unique choice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Some interesting character work with that. You're like, hey guys, it's me, the fire hydrant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's how you sounded. I don't know.
It was silent. It was like, but
Okay, well.
but if they asked me to monologue, I'm sure it'd sound
Probably just like that.
Yeah.
We all know that's what fire hydrants sound like. It's kind of, understood.
Yeah, universally. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I also remember a teacher like pretty early on telling me that like he noticed that I was more comfortable performing when I played in characters, and I think having someone like tell me that, and then like me kind of like connecting like, oh yeah, like I actually like really identify with like character, and he was just like always play a character, and then I just kind of like stayed doing that after it.
It's stuck in your mind.
Yeah.
That's that Kristen Wiig influence. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I would say like for me personally with improv, that's like my approach to it, and like my favorite part about it is just like playing some random person for 3 to 5 minutes and just exploring like what they're like in certain situations, and that's where I find like a lot of joy, and I would say to this day kind of stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Getting to be another character is, I mean, it's the most fun part, because you go, I'm not going to be me for a minute. What does this person do? What do they like? What do they decide? How do they feel about things? And like, you just get to step out of your own skin.
Yeah. And I feel like I had another teacher like teach me like you can talk about things that you believe and know yourself like through those characters, and like there's a lot of fun with like specifics in that where it's like you're doing it through the lens of someone else, but you're still talking through like yourself. And like when you're playing like like a Jersey like kind of like trash talky kind of girl, but then you're talking about like maybe like a love of hiking, if I was bringing like my Colorado roots in it, that would be insane. But like it's believable because what you're saying is true. And I feel like learning that, shout out Craig at IO,
Craig
was like to just like use your own life, but just put it through someone else was like
the filter. Yeah.
like a really helpful thing as well.
Yeah, that's really smart, because it's like, you have so much knowledge, so many experiences and opinions. Like, all that's within you already. All that's already there. Tap into it. But just put it through maybe something unexpected.
Yeah.
You said like, Jersey girl talking about hiking. Hilarious.
Yeah. Like,
I want to see that.
Who is she? Like, is she really? Well,
how does someone from Jersey know about hiking?
Yeah. It's
what?
impossible.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah. Didn't they even have mountains?
They just got like Italian ice over there and some like weird beaches. Like
weird beaches. Yeah.
Atlantic City. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gambling and tanning. That's it.
And not being New York.
No, that's it. Yeah. So I would say like definitely like different places taught me like very like things that were like very pivotal and like what I learned and how I move forward, and I'm really grateful for that time in Chicago. Yeah.
So while you were there in Chicago, you studied at Second City and IO, right?
IO and Annoyance.
And Annoyance. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say I'd say that of the three, like I discovered Annoyance like pretty late. Like I knew about it and I'd see shows there, but I didn't like think about taking classes there. Kind of like you know, the way things kind of go, where like the flashy name is kind of like where you gravitate towards.
Yeah, of course.
And
Second City, Chicago.
of course, yeah, it's, oh my God. Like, I can't tell you how many shows I did at Second City where people thought that they were coming to see like a Second City, like main stage show, but they'd be coming to see like my indie improv show with my friends at Second City that was at like 10 p.m. on like their smaller theater. And I feel like these like tourists would just like kind of be like,
they don't know anything. They're
and like, I hope they had fun.
Yeah,
but
I bet they did.
It's just like, it's just kind of like that name. But what I really love about The Annoyance is the creator, Mick Napier.
Oh yeah, I read his book, Improvise.
That's my favorite book.
Great book.
About like improv, because I feel like his method of like taking care of yourself, and then like you know how to like be a better scene partner when like you know who you are and like what you're doing. Like I think that mindset also was just like another like light bulb moment for me where I was like, yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. So I never finished their program because I moved away before I did.
Sure.
But I love him now. I like him. Like he's the goat. Like he gets it.
Did you get to meet him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He hangs out there all the time. Like he's at the bar. Like he's super nice guy. He's like he's very involved in his theater, which is like really cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a nice space to like hang out. And you know, whenever I go back to Chicago, I go see shows and like I'll see him there. And like, I mean, he doesn't know me, but I'm like, oh, there's Mick. You know, like
you know him.
I get a little like starstruck. You know,
that book
because it's just like
someone like that.
That book is just like, I mean, like, how do you feel about that book? I feel like it's so.
I love that book. It's one of the first like improv books that was recommended to me. In my besides like Truth and Comedy, you know,
classic.
So, which is like everybody reads that. Which is also like a Chicago like must. So I think it was like I read Truth and Comedy, and then the next like improv book I read was Improvise.
Yeah.
So I think just immediately I was like, whoa, this guy's like, this is like the next wave. You know, it's like, okay, like Del Close, Shauna Halpern, they helped us get started. Now where are we going with
now
this?
We're cooking.
Yeah, now we're cooking. Yeah. Mick was like, hold it.
I think he's a god. I read his book and I was like, yes, like. So I wish I could have like taken a class from him or something, but
fantastic.
Yeah, I remember during COVID he put on like the first like COVID improv show of like the Chicago like scene, and like talked about it like over, it was on Twitch, and like just like seeing him,
lots of people were doing that.
Yeah, like seeing him like talk about like trying to like keep it alive was like really interesting, and like he had actors like quarantining inside the Annoyance Theater so that they could like actually be on
come to shows.
Yeah, this was like April 2020.
So we were all still very confused.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like so scared to leave the house. Had no idea what would happen, but so he put on a show that like at that time of just like so much uncertainty, like that May of 2020, like I just like watched his like sketch show from like my parents' house in Colorado when I went home for a little bit in lockdown, and I was just like,
Mick, that's my guy.
Wish I could be there. The Annoyance they got great stuff. That Teacher Craig is one of my favorite shows in Chicago to this day. Is called Deep Schwa. They were an IO Herald team, or like just like I don't know if they don't even do Herald, but like they were like an IO team that they'd now perform at the Annoyance on Sundays at 8. So if anyone listening is in Chicago or going to Chicago, see Deep Schwa, see Craig. He is the guru.
Craig. Shout out Craig.
Shout out Craig.
This is like the second shout out Craig. He's very popular.
Craig changed my life for sure. Yeah, love him.
Shout out Craig. Deep Schwa.
Deep Schwa.
Deep Schwa. All right, I'll keep that in mind for one day. I have no plans, but one day I'd like to go.
You should go. Yeah, hit up Wasabi.
I want to see it all, you know?
Hit up Deep Schwa.
Got to see the bean.
It's very exciting.
I think I'll be whelmed. I don't know.
It's cool, you know. You poke it, you take your pictures. Yeah, I guess that's true. Know, there's usually
hand sanitizer.
Yeah, clean your hands. There's like usually like wedding photos happening nearby. It's right by like this amazing park, so like it's not just like like it's not just like you like go to this like a bad view per se, like a disappointing thing where you show up and you're like, oh, this is the thing, but like Millennium Park's pretty amazing, so there's like other stuff to see. Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. All right, I'm sold again. I'll go get some ramen. Go to the Pack. That's New York.
Isn't that here?
The Pack?
Yeah, on Santa Monica Boulevard. The theater?
Oh, the Pack Theater. I was saying the Pack, like Boston. Oh. I don't know why, but yeah, the Pack. That's that is in LA. The Pack Theater. improv theater.
Yeah,
a newer
sorry,
one, a younger one.
Yeah.
They started 2017, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It seems like such a staple coming here in 2020 that like
they're pretty well established, I think.
Yeah,
People know them now.
That's cool.
Got a good community over there. Tried to do a few things over there over the past couple of years, but anyway. Okay, so I'm thinking like in my mind, like, so you spent time in Chicago, you studied at all these places, and then a big move happened, right?
Yes.
So you're bringing like the improv, let's call it like the improv hometown, like the origin, the birthplace of like modern American improv, right, as we know it. So do you think like you were different, how do I put this? Like you were a different kind of improviser when you moved here versus where you are now?
Ooh, I would say definitely just in the fact that I've like continued to take classes and like learned and like evolved in that way.
Yeah.
And I would say almost like every theater I've ever been to has a different approach. So just by that nature of like just being at these different places, like, are you asking me if like LA is like a different style of improv
Yeah,
than
I guess.
Chicago?
Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. I was like, you've done improv in 2 places. Tell me about that. No. Yeah, I guess I'd say like kind of, maybe what are some like almost philosophical differences that you've noticed between the two? Because you've done a lot of stuff here too, I think. You've been to a number of different schools here. So you've gotten the many flavors of improv.
Philosophical differences.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be that deep.
In all honesty, I would say the main difference to me is the way the communities feel. Like I would say in Chicago, everyone that's there just has like such an intense love of improv and like wants to do improv specifically and like wants to be like, it's very competitive and like you want to be the best you can. And like, everyone's trying to make like Second City Tour Co. or like an IO Herald team. And then if you make Tour Co., you're trying to like make main stage Second City. And like, there's like definitely like certain trajectories that people are going to like, which we have that here too in LA. But I would say like, there was something about the Chicago environment where like everyone was always kind of trying to like go up. And this is also just like my personal experience for anyone listening. But like, I feel like in LA, it just feels just so much more like collaborative. Like there's just so many people that are doing improv here that are just like artists. Like they're not even necessarily like, I'm an improviser. Like, cause I feel like in Chicago, that was like your identity. It's like,
you are improviser.
Yeah. Like I do improv, like there's a certain type of dude, like he's always in like a flannel with like Converse and like skinny jeans. Like I would see people on a train and I'd be like, you're probably going to get off at Sedgwick. Like where Second City was. And then sure enough, when I was getting off at Sedgwick, so were they. And so it's like, we're the same. Like I'm no different than you, but I recognize you. Like I see you as, I can tell by your like quirky little tote bag or like whatever. You're like going to go.
Tote bag's a giveaway.
I knew it. But so I would say like I really do enjoy that about LA. Like it just feels like a lot more like open and like collaborative and like people are like friendlier here in the improv scene, which I think was like really shocking to me because I didn't think that would be the case when I moved here. Just on like stereotypes of LA that I've learned are not necessarily true.
Yeah, some are.
Some are, but like I mean, like if you tell people in Chicago you're moving to LA, they're like, oh my god, like LA, like everyone there is so fake and like it's all about like money and like this and that and like again, I think there's also this thing about Chicago where there's like a hardiness to it because like people like survive these like harsh winters and like
we don't
and like because you survive this harsh winter like you like earn the right to like boast about it in like a weird way and so like I feel like people kind of like covet that and they're like I can never live anywhere else because like I suffer this so hard to like enjoy it when it's good. So when you talk about maybe like moving somewhere where like the weather is nice,
like quitting,
they're like what? Like, no, like that's not Chicago, and it's just like, well, like maybe it would be nice to have sun for like
a little more.
Like, like it, like maybe sun's good.
Yeah. I've heard studies say that maybe going outside in the sun.
Like, I don't think there's many similarities to Chicago and LA. Like to me, they feel like two completely different places.
Yeah, I can't think of like from what little I know.
Yeah, like just nothing really feels, because like Chicago's just so like tight knit. You can walk everywhere. There's like the public transit's huge. Like it's just like very like city urban, and like LA just feels like just so much more open, and like you can hike in the city, and then the ocean's right there, and like the neighborhoods are like, I just feel like not as like intertwined as they feel in Chicago. There's a point to all this that I'm saying. Oh, but like, yeah, like there's just like, they just feel like two completely different places. But I do just like, I love living in a city of artists here. Like, I feel like I really didn't expect that about LA, to just like meet so many different people that are just passionate about art in like a multitude of ways, that it just feels good to be around. And like, you just like have conversations about it and like learn, you know, what people are getting into, and you can like collaborate with them, or, I just feel like way more involved here than I did in Chicago, like with my community and like the art sense, which like I really like.
I think that is a really great observation, because at least, when I think of Chicago, it's like pure improviser.
Pure.
I'm going here because it's improv all the time. Whereas LA, like you said, it's almost more mixed for like, I'm a musician, I'm an actor, it's like improv is in addition to this other art form. It's not the only art form.
Yes, and it's not like this like make or break thing. Like if you're not successful in it, like you're like, it's over. Like, I don't know. Like it's weird, because like as a city, like Chicago is like so friendly, and like it's, like that Midwestern like mentality of, like I do kind of miss that about Chicago. Like it felt like everyone was your friend, sort of. But then like the improv community didn't feel like that, because it was just so competitive, and there was only...
So everyone's fighting.
Yeah, there's only so many spots, and and like here I don't really feel that. And like all the theaters I've been at, I've never really felt that same like, I don't know, like grit with it. So
yeah, it's different. I mean, we definitely don't have that same like chip on our shoulder. Just because, I mean, it's like it was 75 today. Like,
oh my God,
it's December 4th.
I shouldn't have worn this shirt out. I was like, oh, it's like too hot for this. But
I put on a sweatshirt because it's cold inside. Not outdoors.
Yeah, no, like I swear there's like this thing about Chicago where they're like, we suffer, we earn this. And it's like, okay, but there's also like, I was really sad when I moved away. Like I was pretty devastated to have to like leave Chicago when I did leave, because of, I left because of COVID, like when the weather, or not when the weather.
Yeah, you're not leaving on like your own terms, basically.
Yeah, like I felt kind of like forced out of there. Like my life there just didn't really seem like it was going to go forward anymore. Yeah. So I was like devastated to leave like a place I love so much. Yeah. But the new chapters I've experienced because of like living in LA, and like these new things I've been able to experience that are like completely different than Chicago, like I'm really grateful for. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like having Joshua Tree 2 hours away.
Gosh, one
like
of the best. Yeah.
Just like in a weekend, you can just like transport yourself to this like whole other world. Whereas in Chicago, you drive 2 hours away and all you get is Start Rock, So like, I feel like, I guess wherever you live, there's like different things to like enjoy about it. But I think LA has a lot to offer, and people misjudge it because of stereotypes.
Yeah. I mean, California's diversity of landscape, I'd say, it's
oh my gosh,
hard to find something similar in other parts of the country. It's very fortunate that all this is around us.
It makes no sense to me. You see a pine tree next to a palm tree here too. Like,
we could go to the mountains right now and probably find some snow.
Yeah, like when
drive to the beach.
Oh my gosh, like I never realized like moving from like Colorado that LA would feel like Colorado, in the sense that like that mountain background.
Oh yeah, we get that sometimes.
Yeah, like in the winter with like the snow on the top, you can like see like behind downtown. I'm like,
you're coming up the 110 and you get that gorgeous view, right time of year. Oof,
yeah, I'm like,
beautiful.
Whoa, like it reminds me of Colorado. So like that was also like really unexpected that I've enjoyed. And I just think that, there's so many different things to do here, and it's just beautiful all the time. Like to move from somewhere where everything's dead for 4 months to then come here and like, you got like the bougainvilleas, and then you got like the giant succulents, and then you got like, oh my God, jasmine season in LA is like my favorite. Like there's just plants alive all the time, and it's so colorful. And even when you're just driving down like, like the 10 East, and you just like see like the plants and the palm trees on the side of the highway, it's like, gosh, like it's just like so beautiful here all the time. Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah. It's always, I'd say, like teeming with life.
Yeah, totally.
Which is a difference. Like, it's never quiet, and it never really dies. It's just always up.
I do miss late night eating. I don't think LA has that at all, except for like food trucks.
Yeah, food trucks and like stands basically.
Yeah.
That's the move. Like,
Oh, the stands. Yeah.
Like any like tacos, anything like that, you gotta go like side of the road. That's your best bet. Is where the best food is gonna be. I got a favorite spot. It's called Cheo's. Oh man.
Where's that at?
Good. It's in like East LA, almost Alhambra actually.
Oh, cool.
Like so from here a ways, but like that's more my side of town. And like, oh man, they just got a truck. They post up on the weekends at this spot. And then,
just need your spots.
That's my spot. That
Yeah.
is. Oh, think about it right now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Is it Saturday yet?
unfortunately, no. And it's like it's good prices. You know, it's like.
And I do miss the cheapness of Chicago.
Yeah,
I
think a bit more economical of a city. I mean, every city is going to be expensive in one way or another, but like public transit, like you don't have to own a car to survive.
No, but oh man, a Target trip in Chicago, nightmare.
Oh yeah, pain. Well, yeah, because you got to bring everything on the train, right?
Yeah.
I've never experienced that, and I don't want to.
Yeah, my roommates and I were talking about like our freshman year, like how we would like go on the train like probably like 10 stops away to like, try to get stuff for our dorms and like to haul that back. And we just looked.
Go buy your room essentials.
Oh my
stuff.
God, we looked so ridiculous. Or like I used to like take the train home for like winter break when I'd have like 3 suitcases on the train and you just look like a total idiot because like no one's doing that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, well, I don't have a car. And,
sticking out like a sore thumb.
and I'm 19. I'm not paying for an Uber. Like that's crazy.
Oh my gosh, no way.
No, yeah. So that was definitely like interesting to adjust to, but
get that kind of blend in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you learn, you figure it out the more.
Oh yeah, and like I love the train. The CTA in Chicago is amazing. Like there was one I used to just like ride for fun sometimes because it has a good view because it goes the brown line goes through the city like above ground, so you're just you're not driving, like riding through buildings downtown Chicago and like over the river. Oh my God, it's so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, any city that has like a body of water like in or around it, huge fan of that.
Yeah,
huge fan. That's like, oh, I'm all over that. Like, show me that. That's the one thing like we don't have as much here. There's like Silver Lake and Echo Park and like that sort of thing, but it's not the same as like boom river, boom lake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the ocean's like the closest thing we got like a substantial thing,
which is cool. It's different.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, Echo Park, I didn't see that until like this year. I don't know like how.
Oh man,
when I first moved here, it was like fenced off.
Oh yeah, it was kind of
Yeah, and so like you couldn't really like see what was going on in there. I feel like, and I've lived on the west side, so I don't know, just since it's reopened, I've just like never been there. But my friend lives over there, and I was having like a really bad day, and she was like, "Just take a walk to Echo Park," and oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
You
really
gotta
cool.
do the Swan sometime.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like $13, I think. It's
oh my
cheap.
gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
That's for LA?
Yeah. Not bad.
I mean, one of my favorite places here is the Sherman Oaks Castle Park, like the mini golf. Have you ever seen that like little dragon when you're like driving on the the 101 to the 405 and you do that little loop?
I don't know. I'm not over there ever.
If you're ever in Sherman Oaks, it's $5 for a mini golf game.
That price?
In LA. I'm like, that's
like that price.
Crazy. And it's got all like the fun, like little like
it's mini golf.
Yeah. So I mean, I've
write that down.
Yeah, my friends took me there on my birthday like 2 years ago. It's like I love that place. Like, for real.
$5. Everybody's having a good time.
I just think that's like I don't know if that's just like something I'm fixated on and most people ignore, but I'm like $5 in LA for an activity. Like
you're like I'm having this much fun for $5.
That's crazy.
Everybody needs to know about this.
Yeah, everyone needs to know Sherman Oaks.
Yeah, Sherman Oaks. Get there. Go golf with dragons.
He's so cute. He deserves it. Go visit him. Yeah.
Keep him open.
Yes.
It's bringing it back to improv. Mm-hmm. So you moved to LA, and I'm guessing because it was during the pandemic. So you weren't doing improv for a little bit because it was 2020, right?
Theater was dead.
Yeah, theater was dead.
It was over.
Things were dead here. We were just waiting.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned earlier, so you didn't do any improv between moving here and when you found IFTP, right?
No, because it just was like nothing. And I just, again, like the online scene, I just was like, and I think part of me too, honestly, was just so crushed that it wasn't around. Like I don't know, like I felt so like disconnected to it. And like, I just was like this this art was just such a big part of my life in Chicago, and just to have it like gone, I'm like almost like a identity crisis was like kind of happening. Like, who am I, like outside this thing that, you know, for the last 2.5 years, like all my free time went to, you know, like I'd be like taking college classes, but then like taking the train to go to Second City or IO after class, and like doing shit. Like I'd miss like hanging out with my friends sometimes on like Friday nights, because I'm like, oh guys, like sorry, I gotta go do this show. And they're like, dude, you're 21. Like why aren't you like going to
just like come hang out.
like it's like, well, it's Friday, and like you know,
in college,
But I just was, you know, just like I just loved it so much. I just
you're
wanted
dedicated.
Yeah, I just like wanted to keep learning and keep doing more. So I think like because it was just like such a big part of my life that when it was gone, I just like felt this like gut wrenching like lull in my life. And so so IFTP was like, oh my God, it was like the oasis of COVID.
Yeah, because you found it and you could come and actually do it.
Yes, and it was oh my God, it made me so happy. It was so fun. And like I just also, it was really refreshing to come to a place like IFTP where every week is different and you're just doing different things every week. So I really enjoyed coming to a theater that just like felt like it encompassed different like learning styles. And I was just like, this is such a good like way to get back into it, because it just was like exercising so many different things. So I was really grateful for like the format of IFTP when I came here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I would agree. Like coming in and like less curricular, I guess would be the way I would put it, where like, you know, so oftentimes you sign up and you're like 8 weeks, we're doing this. And like, that has its place.
Totally.
100% it has its place. But there's a value, and I think for someone like you are very experienced, you know, you've done a lot of training, you've done a lot of shows. I think it's like, you don't necessarily need that like 8-week course, or like,
I still feel like I need that. I want to learn.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm such a nerd about it. I really, I would, but like, I love that about IFTP. Like, I love that it's just like, you don't know what you're going to get when you walk in, and, you know, Matt asks you the question of the week, and then from there, it's just like, all right.
Saturday morning. Yeah. It's like whatever that question is.
Like, I feel like I never clap my legs hard enough in those moments. Like, I'm just like, I need to be more.
We've been looking for a little more effort out of it.
Well, he said, you know, he'll be like, do it again. You know, he's always like wants.
Yeah. Matt's like, no. I'm showing up here on a weeknight, Saturday morning. You give me more. Yeah.
So I like, and that's why I'll keep coming here, you know, because I love, you know, and also too the way the structure works of just like so many people coming in and out too of like different days. It's like
freshness and
it's just like it's just a good way to play, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, during your time at IFTP, just out of curiosity, like, have you had like different teachers? Have you mostly stuck with the same person? What's been your approach?
I've pretty much just been a Matt girly. I've been a Matt girly.
Understood.
Because I mean, he's the one that welcomed me with open arms. Yeah. And no, I think it just because a lot of it was I was Saturdays, because when I work in the film industry, your schedule.
Yeah. No respect for your life.
Yeah. Like it's just like there's no way I could commit to even like for example, like on Mondays on the film industry. Sorry, Mike. You're coming in at like 4 a.m. and working till 6 or 7. So I was like, oh, like maybe a Monday night class. But like even that, especially when you're going to work at like 4, it just was like.
You got to do it the next day too, probably. Like.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, coming at 4 on Monday, that means Friday or Tuesday's like a 5:30 call maybe.
Oh, great. Yeah.
You know, perfect. So sleep in a little.
Yeah.
Then hit the road. You miss traffic though, so that's that perk. But when I'm working, it's like Saturdays is kind of the only day. So back then it was just Matt, and now I guess there's like Benjamin and Liam as well on Saturdays. So but in this last year, when I haven't been working, I've been taking the weeknight approach. So, but still with Matt. But I have subbed Ava and Jamie. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I was taking classes, I did Matt the whole time. But yeah. You know. I experienced, you know, but I've at this point just through different like camp and like different opportunities, I've had the chance to be in everyone's class. I think I haven't been in a Liam class, and Gavin, I know he taught last month. I haven't been in a Gavin class. So those are the only two because they're newer.
Yeah, I guess I have had Liam as a sub too, and that was cool because Liam and I used to be in Saturdays together.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, cool. I think it's so cool. Like, there's just I feel like all the staff are very different
Yeah.
and they all have different things to offer, which is like also like I feel like reflective of like how the theater works in itself. You know, like you can take classes with a different teacher to kind of get a different approach.
Yeah, work on a different part of your skill
like
set.
versus like some theaters I feel like have like very like set standards of like this is our curriculum, this is how we teach, and like I feel like IFTP is like a lot more fluid.
Yeah. And it's kind of like finding like, oh, this works for me. So like it's kind of building your own like philosophy and almost own personal curriculum that like this works for me. I see that it works in scenes, and I'm a good improviser. I support my scene partner. I build with them, and like that's what you need. You know, I have the tools that I've gotten from all these different people.
Yeah.
And you just put them together in your own little toolkit almost. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Well said. Well said. So thinking about, and this is a big question. We got a couple more questions, and we're going to play some games. Kind of overall, like what has been the impact of improv on your life?
Yeah,
just like off the dome, you know, no biggie. Yeah.
God, just like the most immense joy, I would say. Like, I mean, you know, there's also like the classic answers of like, you know, it teaches me to like think on my feet better, like work better in community, and like,
of course,
be a better friend, be a better listener. Like all that is true, but I think just like following that like childhood joy that I had and like those interests and like living that as an adult and like getting to do comedy and just like I truly feel like when you do a show that's like going well and like that feeling when you're on stage and like the moves are just right, like the audience is happy, like that energy that you feel from improv, like I love it so much. And like I just there's nothing like it. And I think for someone like me that like works in the arts and like film, for example, where it's like it's a set stage and like, you know, there are people acting, but then there's 200 people surrounding them, like not involved in it. And it's just like the product is enjoyed later, like after it's been like edited and, you know,
it goes through so much.
Yeah. But like, there's just something about like, there's something magical about everyone in an improv theater just all being on the same page for that hour, you know, and they're all on that ride together. And like, this is going to sound like my hippie, like Colorado side, but like the energy of like that, like the energy of that room, like, and just that experience, like, it's just brought so much joy to my life. And I just think improv is just the coolest and it just makes me so happy. And then I've just like, I can't tell you like how many like hard days I've had, but then like go to a class and then like, you know, you leave just feeling like a little bit lighter because you just got to like laugh and like have fun. And I think, you know, everyone could benefit from improv just by like the joy that it brings.
Yeah, it changes your whole day sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, my day ended way better than it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like some of it like sticks with you. Like, you know, I can still see a scene that like Liam and Patrick Gallagher and like I can't remember now like everyone in it, but like a scene that like Liam and Patrick did like a year and a half ago, like I can still think about that and be like, oh my god, that was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, and like probably will be until the day I die. And like no one will ever know what it was and I can't even explain it, but like I think that's also just kind of like what makes improv so cool is like
I was there for that. I saw that.
Like the magic, you know,
the exclusivity of that experience.
Yeah,
I agree. It's like, I mean, that's part of why I love it, is like the beauty of like every time you see a scene or a show or whatever, it's like it lives for everyone who's there. You share it and it's gone.
And then it's gone.
And then there will be another one and you won't be there for that, but you still had that one you were there for. And you share that with the performers and the audience and like makes it a group experience.
Yeah. I think that's just like such a primitive art experience too, you know, just like people coming in community and like,
ooh, I like that.
You know,
art experience.
Like, I just feel like it's like my ancestors, my soul, like has had like this, like it's like replicates like ways that people have enjoyed art for centuries.
Like
and
oral tradition, right? Passing down stories. Like,
like
you had to be there to hear it.
Yeah. Like it just feels very like communal and like, I don't know. Like I just, you always like hear people be like, oh, like you can't really make any money off of improv, right? Like no matter how high you get, you know, like even the people, you know, that were doing like Second City, like main stage, like they had to get like second jobs, you know, like
wait,
that.
They're not billionaires?
No. You know, but like, you know, there's not really like a lot of money to be made in improv, but like, again, like the uniqueness of those experience, those feelings you have, like I think is worth like taking over my time because it's just such a special thing to be a part of.
Yeah. It's more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Money, you can get that from your job, sure, whatever. But like, what you can derive from improv is like, there's not a price to put on that. It's just, it's a unique thing.
Yeah, and it's shared. It's just, everyone's on the same page. And like, again, like that discovery that like the actors and the audience are both experiencing at the same time. Like what else is like that, you know?
Nothing's like that because any other art form is more, I'm showing you something that we rehearsed or practiced, or made, but not often are you making something in the moment.
Yeah, and it works, you know? And like that's what's just so cool about it is like
it just pays off.
Yeah, and like the storytelling, people laugh, and you can also make people cry, like it can go so many different ways, and like it's just a ride. It's an adventure. It's a ride, man.
It's a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mom. I got one last question for you.
Okay.
So thinking about improv, right? Your career, your pursuits, your studies. We're coming up on the end of 2023.
Oof.
But with that said, let's say maybe over the next calendar year, is there anything you're like thinking about doing, moves you want to make, things you want to try, shows you want to do with improv? Anything on the horizon?
Well, I'm kind of in the middle of a project.
Okay, you're in the middle of a project.
Yeah, I think Courtney mentioned it maybe on her podcast.
She may have, if it's the project I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so I replicated the way that like dating, a dating like service worked in the 80s where people would be filmed and then like interviewed, and then I'm still kind of unclear of how it worked because the original footage I found is just like a compilation. Like it doesn't actually like explain
like on YouTube or like,
the tape. So like, I don't know if like people like ordered the tape or like you would go to like a building and like ask to see certain people on, like, I don't know if you like had it yourself. It's like, it's still kind of unclear to me, but basically people were filmed and interviewed, and then someone else could then see that interview and be like, oh, I think they're cute. Like, so I want to date them. So I was like, oh, like I want to recreate that with improvisers. And cause I would say like in film, like my biggest interest would be like directing, like long-term. So I was like, okay, like let me try like mixing film and improv. And so I filmed all these like improv friends I had them come in with like very specific characters.
Nice. And
like I gave them like a sheet to fill out that was like, what's your hometown? What are your hobbies? Like what's like your biggest dream in life? What's your dream vacation? Like, do you have a mantra? Like, just so that they would kind of have like a general like POV of these people. It's like
fleshed out a little bit.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't know what questions I would ask them once they got there and I was filming them. So like with that, like for example, like Courtney's character, like her character was named Sue. She was like kind of like this like rough and tough, like Southern lady that owned a sandwich shop. And so like with that perspective, if I'm asking you like, oh, like describe your ideal man, what kind of answers am I going to get out of that? You know? So I filmed 16 people like being interviewed.
That's a lot of content. Yeah.
8 hours of footage.
Oh
I
my
have.
gosh. Oh, nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah. Fun to do. Nightmare to work through.
Yes. Yes. It took a long time this fall.
I believe it.
So I'm releasing right now. I just released my first video actually today.
Oh, okay. I think I saw it. I was watching it.
When you did the Instagram stock.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there lacrosse pictures on my Instagram?
No.
I think back there's.
That's Max Prep. All Max Prep.
So yeah, I'm releasing like 3 like trailers that kind of like looks at like different interviews like cut together, kind of like the original like YouTube compilation. But then I'm also going to release cuts of like everyone's interview, kind of like you're looking at their profile, like in like a modern dating sense of like looking at someone's Hinge. Like now on TikTok, you'll be able to look at like, I'll, promote some IFTPers. Liam and Courtney are both in this project. So you can go in a couple weeks on my TikTok, come see Liam and Courtney's like profile. And I hope that's okay, Liam and Courtney, that I'm telling them about this. Sorry.
I think they'll be okay with it.
I know Liam is an avid listener.
Yes.
So yeah, like I've been exploring like mixing improv and film together, and I'm like, this is so much fun. Like it was just so fun, and like the actors were all so like excited, and I think because of that, like they gave like really good performances because they're just
invested.
like, and they were like connected to it. And I think like, you know, like that just like gave them a lot of freedom, and like they like a lot of them came in with their own costumes and like stuff like that too.
They
and
bought in.
so but also from doing this project, I've kind of thought about like maybe I should like try to do other things of like putting it together kind of on my own and like see like what else, like, you know, like we were talking about earlier before we were recording about like maybe like performing outside of like, you know, the theaters I've been taking classes at, like maybe to like maybe start putting on my own show. So I think maybe 2024, like putting on a show, I think would be my new goal. Yeah.
I think you've got something there with mixing like improv and like traditional media.
Oh my
right?
God. It was amazing.
The stuff you can capture is fantastic.
It was, like golden lines, you know, that would never be written. And I really feel like when you watch these videos, like you can't even really tell it's improv.
Yeah.
Which I think is like so cool.
It rides a fine line. You're like, is that, there might be, that might just be them.
I think it's just them. Like, I don't think a lot of people would catch, maybe that's just like we're improv people. So like, we would see it maybe more, but, I love it. Was so fun. And like, I feel like writing is something like as like a storyteller or like a creator, not a storyteller, cause I'm not a writer. Because what I'm trying to say here is it gives me like a lot of anxiety to like think about like sitting down and writing. Like, I feel like I'm always like, oh, I should write. It's a lot of pressure. But then I never do.
Yeah.
I just like do improv. So I'm like, do I even want to write? But then to sit in like the director's chair and like work with improvisers, I was like, this is the most fun thing I've ever done, like on set. Yeah. Like I absolutely loved it. I want to do another one with like couples being interviewed. So that's my next.
Yeah.
So, and like, you know, like maybe I'll do a spin-off of like the people like on the dating like the dating service I've created. Like maybe they'll like, you'll see them 10 years in the future and they're like a couple and they're being interviewed.
There you go.
So we'll see what's on the horizon. Yeah.
I think you got some good stuff. I'm excited to see more. I liked what I saw today. I was like, oh, this is fun. This is like a broad range of characters. And
and that was
everybody brought it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was like my goal, was just to have like a hodgepodge of people. Like that was like another thing about the project that I found really interesting was I didn't tell anybody like who they should be or like character tropes or like, you know, and like the mixture of people I had just by chance. Like I was like, amazing. Like I couldn't have planned this better myself. Like I was just blown away by how well it worked out by using an art where you plan nothing. But they did plan a little, so I guess don't quote me on that but it was cool. So I'm happy with it. So there will be more. So if anyone wants to hop in on something, let me know. I'll be looking for more improvisers.
All right. Keep your ears open, folks.
Yeah.
Mo's ready.
Yeah.
She's cooking. All right. With that said, Mom, ready to do some improv?
Yes.
All right. We got a couple games we're going to be playing before we conclude this episode of Improv for the Podcast. So this first game, I'm going to read 3 things. You're not going to have a lot of context.
Are we sure we want to do that again?
Oh, yeah. No, don't worry. I'm giving you the 3 things this time.
Oh, okay, good. Because I'm like, I really dropped the ball on that one earlier.
So I'll explain what these are after.
Okay.
So, all right. So I'm going to read, let's say 3 topics.
Okay.
That's the first one. And you're going to pick one of these topics. So I'll read 3. You're going to pick one for us. I just realized that nobody on iCarly has a dad. Second one. We call it cooties. Now we call it STDs.
Oof. Okay.
Third one. Duchess hounds.
I don't know that breed of dog, and I don't know iCarly that well, so I guess I'm going to pick STDs.
Okay. We call it cooties. Now we call it STDs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mo, thanks. I pulled these from your Facebook likes. These were different things you had liked.
Oh, God. From like middle school?
I don't know.
Not recently. Recently. No, like liking things was cool.
Yeah, like a while ago.
Like page.
It was something you did.
It was like on your profile. Oh, God. Wait, how do I fix that? I need to. What's a Duchess dog?
Duchess hound. I know it's a breed of dog.
I don't even know. I'm a fake fan. I don't even know what that is.
I saw it on there and I was just like, I know the breed. I can't tell you what it looks like.
Wait, and then what was the first one I liked?
Nobody on iCarly has a dad, which I think is true.
I feel like that's just me like bandwagoning by liking that and being like, oh yeah, iCarly is topical.
Yeah.
I used to work on a show that filmed next to the iCarly reboot.
Oh.
And I would see Miranda Cosgrove drive off the Paramount lot in her white G-Wagon. And like every time I would kind of do like a double take and be like, iCarly, like in a G-Wagon. It was kind of bizarre.
You're like, this is weird.
And I'm like, she can drive? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, she's driving. She's driving a G-Wagon, like out of control.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. All right. So you chose, we call it cooties. Now we call it STDs.
Yeah. Wolf.
That's going to be our inspiration for a scene.
Okay.
We're just going to do a scene based off of that. We'll see where it goes. Okay. Love those Facebook likes. They're so absurd.
I need to fix that as soon as I go home.
Yeah. That's all. It's all good. I guess you can probably go through your likes and like unlike stuff.
I plan on it.
Yeah. I'm sure I got some weird ones now too. Cause it's like those pages change over time. I think people update them and like
they can change the name.
I think so. I don't know. It's like a lost part of Facebook that's still there, but nobody really,
I just like knowing that I liked this when I was probably like 13.
Yeah,
it's like, who was I to be like cooties to STD? Like what did I know?
You're like, what do I know about that?
Yeah, like my sex education in middle school was a video that said basically if you have sex, you'll get AIDS. And that was like, they just played that on a tape and then like the lady died and then they were like, that's it. So that's where I was coming from liking that page just to give you reference.
Yeah, that's the context.
That was my sex ed that I was working with.
All right. Simple stuff. Ooh, okay.
Dark.
All right. So we're gonna do a scene. We used to call it cooties. Now we call it STDs. We'll see where that takes us.
Okay. Things have changed.
Things have changed. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Where'd the time go, Merle?
I don't know. It's just yesterday we were kids.
We were kids.
We were kids playing outside, coming home when the street lights turned on.
Yeah. You were excited to get your first kiss with Meredith after volleyball in 6th grade.
So innocent, so sweet.
She was a good girl.
She was a good girl. Good girl. Wholesome, kind, gentle.
Yeah, she's 2 times divorced now.
2 times divorced. Look at us. Life has really messed us up.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
thrashed us about.
Just withered us down completely.
I thought I'd end up with Meredith. I thought
you would too. I mean, you guys.
We were soulmates.
Had chemistry.
Yeah,
you had chemistry early on.
That kiss from a young age. It was young love.
Yeah, you knew in the moment. When you know.
We were in 7th grade. We thought this is love. I think we shared a small cheeky kiss just for a moment, and then I thought we'd be together forever.
I didn't even have a moment like that.
I know.
I had nobody in middle school.
I know, Bethany. It's not your fault.
I had nobody. It's
not your fault. A lot of young boys are jerks.
I got a lot of mean messages on my form spring.
People trying to ask you all those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, asking me where my chest was and stuff. It was rough.
Some people are so cruel.
Yeah, I just would spend hours on Tumblr just trying to forget about it.
Yes, just looking at GIFs and celebrity deep dives into Taylor Swift, her activities off the stage.
Yeah, a lot of Shia LaBeouf, real life serial killer Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh man, we've the good news is we made a pact. Do you remember the pact we made?
Of course, yeah. Still have the scar.
Good.
Yeah.
We both said, if we get to the age of 50 years old and we're both still single, we'll end up together, right? We're each other's plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no matter what life does.
We're about 13 years away from that.
We are.
But would you ever consider maybe hanging out with me in a context of more than just lifelong friends?
I absolutely would.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'd be open to moving up that timeline.
Okay, well, I just gotta ask you one thing though
Yeah.
before we move any forward.
Yeah.
Do you have any cooties? Because that's pretty important to me.
If hypothetically,
Hypothetically.
I were to say yes, how might you react hypothetically? If I said yes hypothetically, how might you hypothetically react?
Hypothetically?
Yeah, hypothetically, of course. Because I just not that I'm going to say yes. I just curious,
Hypothetically, Marv, I'd say I've loved you since the day I was 11. So
Bethany.
anything you bring to the table, I want.
Well, that's a relief because I'm actually rampant with cooties.
You have cooties.
But I didn't get them in the ways you would think. I've kind of acquired these cooties in untraditional ways. And
Like what?
there was just, I used a public toilet
Oh, yeah.
and contracted something.
Didn't put down the toilet paper on the seat.
No, I just thought that paper was a ruse,
No.
for show.
No.
But they really mean that. I mean, now I use it, but I didn't. And, I got a bad case of the cooties from that.
I got cooties from a Ralph's grocery cart because I didn't do the wipe. I didn't do the wipe.
You didn't do the disinfectant wipe. I thought that was for dweebs.
No, I mean I was like, I don't want to get chemicals on my hand before I pick up my produce.
Aren't the chemicals worse than the potential germs? At least germs are natural, right?
And here we are.
And here we are, just cootied up.
Cootied up.
I've been to the doctor. They said, you're stuck with these coots for life, buddy.
We're in cahoots with coots.
We're in cahoots with coots. That's Bethany, I couldn't have said it better myself. And
I love you, Mom.
Bethany, I think I'm learning to love you too.
Learning.
Blackout! Oh, man. I'm glad we both got those in non-traditional ways.
Yes.
That's far more interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to shame STDs.
No, I'm here for the strange, uncommon.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
And, how'd you get your common cold last year? Maybe because you didn't
Lord
wipe down the
knows.
Ralph's grocery cart,
100% that could
who
be the
knows
case.
where anything comes from?
I use an ATM. Maybe that was yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Just never touch anything in public ever again?
I touched a handrail on some stairs one time.
Oh my God.
A button in an elevator.
Yeah.
So many potential cootie points of contact.
Yeah. When's the last time you think you used the word cootie on purpose?
Probably when I was a teacher talking to kids who are, cootie is in the vernacular. It's still, it's still relevant. It's still there. So yeah, probably then.
Yeah.
But not adult
Being
to
relatable.
adult. No, just trying to, relate to the youth. Yeah.
As you should.
So more recent than some folks just because of work, but yeah, not, it's been a few years though. I've been out of the cootie game. What about you last time?
I feel like maybe more recently than I would want to say, just off of but just because of I feel like, where you maybe maybe lean in for a hug from someone and you don't know if you're going to hug and you're like, oh, I'm not going to give you cootie, as a defense mechanism maybe to be
that plays.
I won't give you cooties or maybe some dude at a bar saying it to me and then me saying it back in some way.
Yeah,
maybe then.
It's like a playful thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just bitten at a bar. Have you ever done that? Do you ever do improv when, I guess you're not single, but have you ever been single and done? Have you ever been single, Michael?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, most of my life still, statistically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and just I don't know. I feel like improv's a great tool when someone's talking to you and you just don't want to commit to it seriously, but you want to still be polite.
Yeah, you can still, there are ways to play a little bit.
Yeah, and just answer their question about something that's just a total lie, but you sell it, and it's it's like rehearsing in a way.
There's not really consequences. It's just fun.
You'll never see them again.
Probably not. It's LA. There's millions. Just in the city of LA, 4 million people. So
Yeah.
probably all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 million. It's a good number. Bitten out a bar.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Oh,
Yeah, with the bartender. Why not? Maybe not.
I haven't done it with the bartender.
That's an exchange. You're trying to get something. Maybe not.
Yeah.
You need something.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's just more when someone's like, what do you do for a living? And I'll be
Yeah.
like, I do paparazzi.
I'm
Like,
a doctor.
Like I'll just say the most
Yeah.
random thing I can think of. I once
Yeah.
convinced a man I had like a fear of hot dogs and like like couldn't be like anywhere near hot dogs because like my fear of microplastics. And he like bought it. And like I don't know if
Yeah.
that's like he actually bought it or he just like wanted,
Yeah.
you know.
He's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
like, say
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
babe. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But like I was at that point
that's fun.
I was pushing how far I could
Yeah.
go because that same man I had already told him I had like a CDL and I drove trucks in Florida and he's like, oh, I'm from Florida and
no.
I said I was from
That's the worst. Yeah.
I said I was from Juneau, Florida instead of Jupiter.
Oh, because it's Juneau, Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he's
no.
like, oh, like I'm from Florida. I've never heard of Juneau, Florida. I'm like, it's in the Panhandle. It's like a city of like 300. You would know. It's not on a map. Like you wouldn't know.
no.
And he was like, okay. And like, just
Yeah.
like we kept going.
Yeah.
Like, so that man thinks I drive
Nice.
trucks and I'm afraid of hot dogs.
Love it. He's
Yeah.
out there right now.
Or-
He's like, I can't believe I let her go. Yeah. The hot dog hating, microplastic avoiding, panhandle princess. Like, he's like, I lost her.
I'm sure he's fine. He was like a military man in Colorado
okay.
Springs. I'm sure he hit on 30 more women that night.
Okay.
So
Darn. Well, no, maybe you're the one that got away. Well, not you, but the Floridian.
yeah, whatever
you
her name
created.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, microplastic.
Yeah. Something else in there about like I was on. Oh, he asked like why I was there with my friends, and I said we were on a cross country master's degree tour where we were interviewing with different schools to get into the. Wait, okay, there's more to this story. I said that we were being interviewed, like touring different schools, and then we were like driving by van to like go to our different schools, and we were sampling as many apple pies as we could on the road. And I said he's like, oh, how many? And I said like 57 different pies we've had at this point.
Gosh.
And then this like man walked into the bar, and I was like, oh my God, like that's the man that like interviewed me today. Like he can't know I'm here. Like I like totally like portrayed myself as someone that like doesn't drink. So like if he sees me here, like it's gonna like totally harsh my rep. And then I started like panicking, and then the guy, for whatever reason,
Yeah, he was panicked too.
no, like the one I said was my professor, like kept staring at us, like as I was freaking out. Like I don't know how. Like he was not in on
It's like
the
he
bit.
yes-handed you. But,
And the guy was like, "Oh God, like, are you okay?" And then I just started like crying. Like I just like went for it, and he was like, "It's fine. Like you'll probably still get in." Like I love to commit to that to a stranger at a bar. I think it's so funny, which is maybe like I'm a troll for that, like for sure. But like if it's
okay, yeah, you're not hurting anyone.
I'm not being mean. I'm just
No.
like saying things that aren't true because I will never see each other again.
You gave someone a memorable experience.
I
and
hope
there's
so.
value in that.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe somewhere he's on a podcast talking about this pie eating trucker that hates plastics and hot dogs.
It's like, dude, this one time when I was deployed in Colorado Springs. He probably doesn't sound like that. I don't know.
I can't even remember. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right. Let's move on to our next game. This one's called Parental Practice. So I want you to think about, like as a kid growing up, were there like, maybe besides the obvious one, was there like a tough conversation like a parent or a family member had to have with you growing up? Maybe it was about something you did or like.
Ooh. I used to get like bad grades a lot. Like I would get in trouble. My parents would have to sit me down and be like, "You need like that sort of thing."
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I'd
could
say
be
I got in trouble for having bad grades a lot.
Fantastic. All right. Well, tell you what, Mo, you're about to get an opportunity to practice that conversation right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to be a parent. I'm your child.
Okay.
And I got some bad grades. We're going to see what happens. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Any questions before we begin?
What subjects are you doing poorly in?
I am doing poorly in. I failed PE.
Timmy, what happened? You didn't run the mile?
No, well, I walked. I was tired.
You walked the mile,
Yeah.
Timmy?
Mom, it's like I don't want to run.
I know you can run it in
I
a
don't really
9.
like
You're a
sports.
niner. You can do it in 9 minutes. Why would you walk, babe?
Mom, I don't like the coach. He's mean. He yells stuff at us, while we're running. And
What does he say?
He says, try harder and, you're not sweating enough. It just makes me uncomfortable.
Well, this family, no one runs under a 10-minute mile. So, Timmy, you're gonna have to stand up and do some aerobics.
Yeah?
Well, actually, we're gonna talk about this more.
I don't know what that is.
I was thinking maybe jumping jacks, but I want to get to the root of why you don't see yourself as a runner when everyone else in this family is a runner.
I'm not a runner.
Why, Timmy? Why don't you run?
Mom, I'm more of an indoor kid, Mom. There's at school there's different types of kids. There's indoor kids and outdoor kids. And Mom, I'm like an indoor kid.
But look at those calves, Tim. Look at those calves.
Yeah, they're great for standing up from the chair and sitting back down, Mom. They're great for jumping up the steps as I head back to my room. I'm an indoor kid, Mom. I want to go on my iPad. I want to go on Roblox on there.
Yeah.
I want to play some games.
Timmy,
I don't want to go outside. It's hot.
You can't fail gym, honey. You gotta.
It doesn't matter. I'm doing good in my other classes.
You can't fail gym. You can't. That's something. It's most people pass, babe. You gotta.
I mean, I do the basic things. I do change in the locker room, and
Okay.
I have deodorant with me, so I smell all right. But when we have to go outside and run,
Honey, could you just do a light jog?
A light jog.
Could you just do a light jog, maybe a 12-minute? I'm willing to let go of the 10-minute mile.
I'm a little scared. If my heart rate gets too high, maybe it'll explode. That's the dangers of the outdoors. If I stay inside, I'm safe.
Yeah.
And my heart rate stays down. It gets a little excited when I'm playing a game, but it's if I'm playing Roblox, it's oh my, I'm having fun. My heart rate goes up. I'm building a theme park.
You're using your creativity.
Yeah,
growing
my
as an artist.
creativity. I'm an artist, Mom. I'm an indoor kid.
Yeah.
Please don't make me run under 10-minute miles. I can walk it in 17 minutes.
But it's not enough for the teacher. Timmy.
Look, Mom, you once told me that it's not about how you finish, it's just that you finish.
I did say that.
And I do finish the mile. I don't do it quickly. I'm not the speediest kid in the class, but I finish the mile, Mom.
You're the cutest one out there, Tim.
Mom, don't say...
What?
I am, but don't say that in front of my friends, okay?
Oh, sorry.
But they're not here. I'm just telling you. Oh. Mom, did you think my friends were here? What?
It is established.
Steph, I only like to talk to them online.
Timmy, I just want you to be healthy. I just want you to be here. The rag.
It's okay. I have allergies. That's why. Another reason I don't like going outside.
You gotta do 9. You gotta do 9.
You gotta do 9. Okay.
If you run a 9, I'll increase your iPad time to 2 hours a night.
2 hours? Right now, I only get 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mom, I think we have an agreement. This hand is dirty, so I'm gonna.
I don't mind cooties. You're my son.
Okay, that's true. I am you. Thanks, Mom.
Love you.
Love you too. Blackout. Well handled. I think you were in control of that situation.
I didn't feel like it, so that's good to hear from an outside perspective.
There was a point where I had the thought, I was like, I want more iPad time. And that organically, you gave it to me. So maybe I was in control.
I was listening to your want. You were saying.
That's true.
He talked to, so.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Another Craig Euler. Another Craig
you
Euler.
listen to my want.
Yeah, he's like, always have a want.
Yeah.
You have one and your scene partner has one. And
Write that down. Write that down.
do the dance, you know?
Do the dance.
Yeah, give them a little bit, and then you try to get yours. I didn't. So I wanted you to run. You wanted iPad. We meet in the middle.
In the middle. I'm going to hit that. I'm in a mile.
I think you will.
You, for the iPad.
Yeah, thinking about Roblox as you run.
Roblox. Always. Always thinking about Roblox. It's not true. I've played it once. It's not, I don't get it. But I did it for the kids, for the kids.
For the kids.
Yeah. Not for me. Not for me.
Not for me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Is it like Minecraft?
Okay, from what I understand, from my brief exposure, so it's free. So great start, free, great price. But the idea is like Roblox is almost like a platform that you can make games within.
Oh, cool. Like you as the user design your own games?
Yeah, you can. Or you just play other people's games that they make. And like within that, the potential seems pretty limitless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like people create like Roblox versions of other games essentially, and then people play within there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really
So
cool.
I think for kids, it's like super accessible because it's free. You can just play, you don't have to pay any money. You can download it and then it's good. Like a lot of middle school kids, big into it.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's, I don't know.
I mean, the things you learn in a school, I can't,
yeah.
I just feel so out of touch. Like I heard someone say the new thing after Gen Z, it's like called like Gen Alpha.
Yeah. They just went back to the beginning.
And I'm like, those are already around? Like
Yeah,
to me,
they're real
I'm
young.
still living in the year 2015, like on loop.
It's a good time to be stuck in. Yeah.
Like, when you think about like the 80s, like to me, that's still like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
From where we were in now, it's like 40. And I'm
Yeah.
like, where did that?
It's like, yeah.
I don't know. Time just keeps
fast.
spinning, but I feel the same age. Yeah.
And I think that's adulthood essentially.
Yeah.
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 Yikes.
Yikes. 2024. Here we come.
Yikes. All right. Well, Mo, we got one more game.
Okay.
We'll play this one. I'm going to give us a location. And essentially, the way this game works, we're given a location. We're going to kick it off. And at some point, some type of weather, we don't know what it is, we'll define it, is going to happen. And it's going to affect the scene somehow. It's going to affect the scene.
Okay.
Some sort of weather. We don't know what. I think it'll just come up.
Okay.
This game is called I think it's Wacky Weather.
Okay.
All right. So we're at a construction site. Be that as it may. Here we go. Lights up.
What the wife packed today?
Oh, telling you. Ham and cheese, baby. Woo! The
Predictable.
best sandwich.
Predictable.
Hey, don't you insult Debbie's cooking. All right?
It's not my intention.
What'd you get, huh? Predictable.
This is a caprese from Bay Cities.
A caprese sandwich? So like a fancy ham and cheese?
No, it's like mozzarella and basil and balsamic vinegar. There's no meat. No meat.
Mozzarella's cheese, right?
Oh, you said cheese?
Yeah, I said ham and cheese.
I'm sorry, Al. I don't feel like myself.
It's all right. Everything all right at home?
No.
That's why you eating the sandwich. No meat, no protein. 'Cause things aren't all right at home.
I had to go get my own breakfast. I had to get my own lunch today.
No.
Pauline didn't want to do it.
No, Pauline didn't want to make your caprese sandwich.
Pauline didn't want to make my caprese, man. I had to go pay for it off Lincoln Boulevard.
Off Lincoln, yo, the sandwich prices over there are crazy.
This was $17.
$17 for,
$17.
and you got no meat in there?
No meat. For a large, though.
For large, all right. I do see that is upwards. That's got to be at least an 8-inch roll there you're working with. That's an impressive girth. But I'm sorry to hear things aren't good with Pauline.
Yeah, thank you.
That's tough.
It's nice to know you're here for me.
That's tough. I'm gonna listen anytime. Look, sometimes me and Debbie, we have our fights, but we always come back around because we love each other. And
You're so grounded, man.
well, yeah, it's what I do.
Are you like a earth sign or something?
A what?
An earth sign?
Earth sign?
Like a,
Oh, yeah.
Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn.
Yeah. I'm a Taurus, like the bull, right? Yeah, the bull. That's me.
Yeah, that makes you grounded.
Yeah, Taurus, like the Pokemon, right?
Yeah, just like the Pokemon.
Yeah, like
Ash
the
Ketchum.
Pokemon.
He has
Ash
that one.
Ketchup. Yeah,
I
I
think
like
he's
that
Pokemon
kid.
number like 36 or something.
36, yeah.
My brother
That's
can name
true.
them all in order.
No
all 200.
way.
No, I swear. We had
Yo.
we had a poster growing up. He memorized.
Sick. You know the Poke Rap?
No.
The Poke Rap from the show?
No. You got it on?
Oh no, I don't know the Poke Rap. I don't got no good memory for when I was a kid and stuff,
No, who does?
I just remember I love Debbie and I love ham and cheese sandwiches. I'm a simple man. And I like working construction. I like having my belt and my tools.
That's all you need, man.
What do you love?
Man, I love a nice walk at about 8 p.m.
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
When a lot of other people are thinking about going to bed, I'm thinking about what do I want for the rest of my life. And I like a fresh new pair of Hanes. I love getting a new pack from Target. Just open it and it's just
Fresh
clean.
briefs.
Fresh briefs.
Hard to beat. You're bundling the boys in some fresh briefs. Hard to beat that feeling.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Oh. What the? Oh. I didn't see this on the Weather Channel this morning.
Oh, I didn't either.
What the? This is just pouring rain on us. This is going to set us back weeks.
What's the point of even working anymore?
No. No.
No?
Now, Phil, here's what I think you should do, Phil.
What?
Phil, you need to go home and think and fix things with Pauline. I'm gonna call off the rest of the day. We're gonna go home. I want all the boys to go home today. Go home to your families.
You do that for me?
I do that for you. You get the full day's pay, but just go home. I want you to fix things with Pauline and just let the rain inspire you. Inspire you.
You're the best boss I ever had.
Yeah.
You're the best boss I ever had.
No, Phil, you're the best worker I ever had, and I see a lot of me in you. See a lot of me.
You don't mean that.
No, I mean that.
You mean that?
I mean that. You're like me, but fancier, more educated. Words like mozzarella, basil. These are words I don't throw around. I say cheese. I say ham. I say Debbie. Simple man.
That's it.
Simple man. I like what I like. Construction.
Well, I won't keep you in the rain here too long. So.
No, it's fine. I like the water.
Okay.
I like the water.
You look great.
Thank you. Yeah, I know my curls, they get all stretched out in the rain. Debbie likes it when I got wet hair. I shake the mane.
It'll bounce back.
It'll bounce back. Yeah. It'll bounce back. Just like you and Pauline will. Just like you and Pauline. I know you're a good husband. I know you love her. Tell her that. Tell her, baby, I was out in the rain and then it fell on me. Say that. Okay. Say something like that. She'll love that. She'll love that. And I bet you'll be back here tomorrow. You'll have your mozzarella. Mm-hmm. You'll have your basil.
She packed herself.
Tomato. On that nice hoagie. Ciabatta.
Yeah. Nothing better.
Nothing better.
Thank you, man.
No problem, Phil. Phil, before you leave, sorry, one more thing. One more thing. I want you to have something. We're just having a moment here. Here, please, take this necklace. It's very special to me. You see, it's a little golden hammer right here. Because I love construction.
It's so adorable.
Like I said, there's 3 things I love in life. Ham and cheese, Debbie, and construction. Simple man.
It looks great on my chest.
Yeah. I want you... It looks amazing. You look so handsome. Look, I'm a married man, but you look pretty handsome, Phil. You look pretty handsome. I'm just saying. Pauline's a lucky lady.
Thanks, boss.
Anytime. I head home. Oh, you stop that. You stop that.
You stop.
We're going to get in trouble here, Phil.
You're the boss.
We're going to catch a cold out here winking at each other. We're going to get put in pneumonia.
All right.
See you around, sport.
See you around.
See you around. Blackout. Kiss.
I think because we talked about Jersey people earlier in the podcast, every single scene we did, I started out with a different voice and then ended with a Jersey. Like just something like East Coast. I don't know. Did you see that happen? I
felt that definitely in the last scene. I don't know.
I think
maybe I just didn't realize it.
I think I did that as your mom too. Like at first I was like, Timmy. And by the end I was like, get your iPad. Like,
hey, it's fun to go there. It's fun to go there.
Man.
It's a fun place to be. All right.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, Mo, thank you for playing. Before we conclude, any final thoughts you want to leave us with? On improv, on life, on mozzarella, on what?
What did we say earlier? That all views are good views or something? I feel like that's a nice...
Yeah, all views are good views.
All views are good views.
Yeah, even if they're bad, you'll learn something.
Yeah. And you're alive to see it.
Amen in that. Amen in that. All right. Well, thank you so much to Mo Cordrey for coming on Improv for the Podcast. Legend. Hope to have you back sometime. With that said, Improv for the Podcast, you can find us on any platform, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you find podcasts, we'll be there. We'll be back next week with another episode. But until then, we'll see you next time. Improv for the Podcast was created by Matt Moore and Michael Lee Evans. Edited and produced by Michael Lee Evans. And finally, presented by Improv for the People. Interested in more IFTP? You can visit us at improvforthepeople.com or on our socials, such as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Remember, new episodes are released weekly. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.